You know, and we all have our 15 minutes of fame, and I'd like to take a couple of my 15 minutes to talk about the rights and the wrongs in the world of professional wrestling.
And it is for the WWE Championship.
This match is for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship.
The World Heavyweight Championship.
The match and new NWA Heavyweight Champion.
We appreciate you guys coming out and taking your time to support women's wrestling in America.
This match is for the AWA World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship.
This is the WPN's Rights and Wrongs of Pro Wrestling. I am your host, Mr. Green. Thank you for tuning in to another podcast interview. In a few moments, the podcast will kick off and the interview will begin. I just want to make some things clear before we went through. Generally speaking, when you normally listen to the interviews, I try to catch the interviewee in the most controlled environment as I can. However, in this particular case, we have been, Maria and myself have been trying to catch up with each other for a little bit of time. And the best time that we had available simultaneously was while she was in transition. She was heading to another appointment. So if you hear a little bit of a breeze or something like that, or it sounds like a car is running in the background, that is what it is. But the interview is clear. You'll be able to understand what she's saying and all that good stuff like that. And she was a very open interview. It may sound a little bit quicker than what the normal interview is that I would do, because there are times where the interviews that I produce can range from 30 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes. But I think we still got a reasonable chunk of time out. And she was more than willing and forthcoming, completely professional, and taking time out to do this. And I would certainly say that she's somebody I would definitely like to have back on the show again at some point in time in the future. She has a great resume. I think she was the first and longest reigning ever WCCW Women's Champion. Of course, not the original WCCW. This is a newer version. First ever USWF Women's Champion. First ever Queen of the Bluegrass. A six-time OVW Women's Champion. And of course, I know some of y'all guys out there are very aware of OVW. They had a lot of future Hall of Famers, a lot of current WWE superstars kind of run through there, and some TNA talents that have gone through there, but Ohio Value Wrestling. So having that championship 6 times is a big feat, and it certainly speaks well of what they would think of her. And she has listed herself as the most hated woman in wrestling, and she's going to go into that and just why they call her amazing and all sorts of good stuff. So thank you again for taking the time to listen to this. If you are a fan or you enjoy the shows, and I say shows because not just this podcast, but our docu-interview series, the wrestling matches, the bonus round content, that is all on the channel. Please do subscribe and follow wherever you may be following this information at the time. So that means YouTube and iTunes and Google Play, Podbean.com, whatever platform that you happen to be in touch with us. Please like, subscribe, follow, however you choose to do it. If you have not found us on Facebook, I would say go on there, because there is exclusive Facebook content that is there as well, which Maria also was kind enough to kind of submit some stories too. So you got all that good stuff. So go to facebook.com/Women's Pro Wrestling Network. You can go to WPNWrestling.com for our website, and the WPN Wrestling for Instagram and Twitter. And we're looking for people to start getting on our bandwagon with that. And one last thing, if you have not gone and checked out the review of the Mae Young Classic, that is also up and available. We put out full predictions. and put it down well before the Mae Young Classic actually officially kicked off. Wrote it down on the Mae Young Classic brackets so that everybody would know what we picked and there would be no backing out of it. And out of the 16 matches that aired between 4 episodes of the first round, one of them wrong. So we was kicking ass in that interview. I mean, well, not interview, but in that prediction. So stick with it, man. You need to go in there and see what I got right, what I got wrong. Well, most of it's right, but one of it's wrong. You need to find which one it is. But that's neither here nor there. We're going right off into the interview now. So, ladies and gentlemen, on the show for me tonight is the amazing Maria. First things first, welcome to the show, amazing Maria.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Now, you got to put your social media contacts out because I'm sure promoters, fans, people that want to follow you, all that alike, they'd like to know where they can find you. So let's go ahead and toss that out for anybody that's interested.
Oh, absolutely. Everything I have is under Amazing Maria. Like if you type it in, it's amazing_Maria for Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, my Facebook page, my fan page. Everything is just Amazing Maria. You can @ Amazing Maria and it should pull it right up.
Oh, okay. Now that we've covered that, and I'll make sure that I put that out there a little bit later on. Let's get to business. First off, the obvious question is, why in the world would you go into a sport such as professional wrestling?
You want an honest reason, or?
Of course. It's gotta be
all right,
honest.
absolutely. All right, I've loved wrestling my entire life, of course. Like, always been around it, always, been a fan. But once I kind of thought I was grown, I got in trouble a lot, this and that. I actually started going to wrestling, or not going to wrestling, actually started training to wrestle to stop going to jail. Because, like I said, I used to get in trouble a lot, used to fight a lot, get assault charges and all this and that. I had kids young, and my kids, wanted my kids to grow up a little bit. Finally, when I got a little older, my kids were old enough to, go play with friends, or so I wouldn't have to be dragging them around. My daughter's like, Mom, just do it. You love it, it's what you want to do. And so between my kids telling me, to just go for it, and the fact that I wanted to stop going to jail for assault, I became a wrestler.
Well, now that is an interesting story. Is that public knowledge, or is this one of the first times that's kind of gone out?
Well, I mean, it's never been released in an interview, so it's the first time for that. But, a few, people know here and there.
Okay.
The story of that is me.
So to summarize, we'll say that you had to refocus your aggression into a positive way, and also your children gave you the incentive to refocus that aggression. Is that a fair
Absolutely.
statement?
Fair enough.
Okay, all right. Why are you the most hated woman in wrestling? Hashtag
I'm an asshole.
You didn't come off that way. I mean, in the correspondence we had online, and maybe I don't know you well enough, you seemed as professional as professional could be.
I'm professional as I can be, but, just because I refocus my aggression doesn't mean I'm still not an asshole nonetheless. I just refocus my aggression and the way that I am towards people I don't like in the ring.
I see. Well, all right. Well, we'll go with that then. So you are convinced that you are the single most hated woman in wrestling?
Oh, absolutely. I walk in a building and people start throwing things at me and, cursing my name and calling me all these things. And, that doesn't just happen for no reason.
I would imagine not. How did we come up with the title Amazing? Is that just obvious thing? Like you just easily amazing in the ring?
It sounded good in front of my name, and You know, everything about me is amazing. So, like, I have amazing hair, got an amazing butt, got amazing eyes. So why not? You know?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure the fans and a lot of the guys out there would agree with that assessment. So I'll take that. We'll move on. Uh, how traveled are you in the business? Because a lot of times we have some really great independent stars, but sometimes some people are unable to see them live. Uh, but I know that you have kind of run the southeast and areas such as that. How traveled are you so far?
All throughout the Southeast and South, most definitely. I've gotten out recently to the Midwest, and I don't know what you would call Nebraska. I've been there. I've been going up.
You've been going
I'm
up there?
actually, yes.
Okay.
Actually getting ready to head across seas. Going to do a USO tour, and we're going to Japan and Guam, Alaska, and Hawaii. So, going to be across the pond for a little while.
Okay.
And I know it's kind of hard, like, for people to see, they see online, hey, I really want to see this person or this and whatnot. I know it's not the same live, but I'm also out there in the media world, hotspots.com, IWA. IWA is on, what is their stuff on? IWA Mid-South, we're on Smart Mark. And then Girl Fight, which we travel the states with Girl Fight. Fonda does a really good job with getting us new states to travel to. All girl wrestling, like the entire show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on High Spot. So you can, if you get on High Spot, you can order the DVDs. Or if you have, like, internet access and you get the wrestling networks, there's highspots.com, the Women's Wrestling Network. You can definitely find me on all of those.
Okay. Hopefully one of these days you'll make your way down to Atlanta or the greater Atlanta area, but that's neither here nor there. We won't.
I was in Atlanta. Back in October, and every time I get hit up from the guys in Georgia, I'm always booked. And I tell everybody, you got to hit me up. I need 2 months advance notice because I book myself out 2 months at a time. I take bookings further on out, of course, but like I book myself solid 2 months at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, let everybody know, hey, listen, if you want to get me, you need to get me early because I book up. So if you have a date you want me on, hit me up. But give me some notice.
Okay, now
Hit
you need some notice 2 months in advance. We got you. Now when were you here? What promotion were you working for when you were down here?
Girl Fight. I know Girl Fight to Georgia. We did like a 3-state tour, did Tennessee, Georgia, and Florida.
Now how the hell did I miss that? Anyway,
I have no idea.
that's right up my alley. I was supposed to be there. I was supposed to be in the know. Anyway, I guess I missed out on that one. But speaking of Girl Fight, now this one may not be one that you want to touch on, but I'm going to ask anyway. You were involved in a brutal tag team match, which I believe your partner at the time, if I'm correct, was Samantha Heights.
That is my tag partner currently. Yes.
And the two of you wrestled Monsters Inc. For those who are not aware of what that team or who the members of that team is, that was Dementia Rose and Mickey Knuckles. That was put on Facebook Live, and that probably worked against the whole Girl Fight scenario. But I got to see a pretty incredible match, but it was hard hitting as all get out.
Now love should be, because I know that fool put it online. He put it on Facebook Live, but yes.
Yes. Tell me your experience in that match, because it didn't look like anything nice.
Oh no, there's absolutely nothing nice about that match. I don't know if you saw the 3 power bombs on the table. Thank you, Mickey Knuckles.
Yes.
Yeah. It was very hard hitting. Anytime I step in the ring, Samantha steps in the ring with either solo or as a team against Dementia or Mickey, one hard-hitting match. I've got a bruised shoulder from Dementia from the past weekend. She beat me with a chair. So, yeah, it's always hard-hitting. We've known each other a long time. We've always went at it in the ring, and we don't hold anything back when we get in the ring with each other.
Apparently. I mean, y'all were doing stuff up there that I definitely wouldn't even want no part of. I'm seeing somebody getting suplexed against the wall, power balls on a table. I mean, that was just ridiculous stuff that y'all were putting your bodies through. I mean, oh my goodness. Anyway, yeah. And you just spoke about Dementia Rose, I guess coming down on you with a chair. As we are recording this right now, you just had a series of matches with her, correct?
Absolutely, 3 matches in 2 days.
And I'm sure that was
in
fun.
Michigan. Oh yeah, absolutely. Until she got mad and left me laying in the, like she won the first one, I won the second one. The third one, she got real mad because we were fighting and we actually went outside the ring, and that's where things get, how should you say, really hard hitting between like the four of us girls.
Mm-hmm.
So Dementia and I were fighting, and I just so happened to hear the count, and we almost got counted out, and she heard it also. She went to get in the ring, I grabbed her, and we both actually got counted out, and she got a little upset with that because, she didn't get the win, so she grabbed the championship belt, and I never saw it coming. Like, I thought she was leaving, I was going to leave, and, she attacked me from behind, smacked me in the back of the head, and, beat me down, left me laying in the middle of the floor in Detroit, Michigan. So
now, how does this work? I mean, we got the strange and deranged Dementia Rose, who by nature is not a most cheered individual.
Crazy as hell.
There you go. I try to put this nicely as the host.
I'm not nice. She's crazy as hell.
Okay, there you go. And we got the most hated woman in wrestling, Amazing Maria. So, how does that even work? Do the fans even know who they want to cheer for here?
It was kind of odd. In Michigan, I've always been, hated. People have always hated me. And, when I do the gatherings for ICP and doing JCW, I've always been hated. And something happened this year. I don't know what to do with my hands right now. I don't know what's going on. But the gathering this year in Oklahoma City, I was cheered by the Juggalos. And then fast forward to this past weekend, we did the Carnival Carnage concert, which had, JCW before the show. And I was cheered by the Juggalos again. So I was just like, maybe these are my people. So I just ran with it. And when we were at the Token Lounge on Sunday, which is also, in Detroit, right there, known as a lot of Juggalos, ICP fans, a lot of wrestling fans. And we get out there and they see her and they're just like, ooh, we really don't like her. And I come out and I get cheered as soon as I come out. So I just rolled with it.
Okay, so you can be the most hated one, but you're not going to go against the will of the crowd. Is that somewhat fair or?
No. I would 98% go against the will of the crowd because I don't care. But when it comes to the Juggalo people, I don't know. I feel like they are misunderstood. They're mistreated. People give them a bad rap for no reason. So it's kind of like a cause for me. You know what I mean? I feel like those are my people. So they're hated. I'm hated. We just be hated together.
So you understand them? Is that the?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. I think that you have an upcoming gig in Tennessee somewhere in November, if I'm not mistaken. That was kind of presented to me. Do you know what that event happens to be? I want to say the 3rd.
The November 3rd?
Yes.
Actually, yeah, I just got a message about that today. Bear with me just a second. I will look and see where exactly that is because I was half asleep because when the message came in. Let's see. Gladeville, Tennessee.
Something like that.
I'm sorry.
I said something like that. I mean,
Okay, yeah.
it was it was never confirmed for me. It was just like either Jackson or Burns, Tennessee, and I saw the names listed off: Heather Owens, Big Mama, Nemesis, yourself, Thunder Kitty, Jessie Bell, Randy West, Jay Lee, Cindy. You know, so I'm assuming you
Okay.
within
No,
that group.
that's different. That's different. That's down in Tullahoma,
Oh, okay.
I think. I know Jessie Bell, myself, or it may be that. I don't know. I have like 2 or 3 different shows in Tennessee coming up in November that are the end of October, early November that are all girl shows. So are all like there's a lot of girls on the shows.
So Maria's in high demand. That's fair to say.
That's fair enough.
Okay, you know, now what puts you in high demand? Let's break this down here. If you had to assess why the promoters are coming after you, I mean, is it because they're getting a hard-hitting fight? They're getting somebody that's going to beat the crap out of somebody else because he could take a beating? All of the above? What is it?
Oh, you know, it's a little bit of all the above. I can dish out a beating. I can take one. So once I step in the ring, it's always something different. It's never like, you know, you're not going to get the same boring thing. Like there's always going to be either some hard-hitting action or, you know, well, there's always going to be hard-hitting action. It's either going to be me taking it or me getting it because, you know, sometimes they're just those girls that like to dish it out just as much as I do.
I see that. And I also see that you're not afraid to bleed either.
Oh, absolutely not.
Well, hopefully you're not encouraging that.
No. I'm not encouraging it. I've been busted open the hard way several times. Punched in the mouth, or you know, got a broke nose once. I don't know, just things happen. You know, I've been rammed into things that have cut me and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm not one of those little girls that's, oh my God, I'm bleeding. I can't go on. No. It just makes me mad.
Okay. I got
you. If I see my own blood, I just get mad.
You go nuts. Now,
yeah, absolutely.
Now I know that we've established that you have listed yourself as the most hated woman in wrestling, but there are some pictures that you have which seem to go against the grain of that. I mean, even down to the outfit. Like I saw one in there where you almost look like a Dallas Cowgirl cheerleader. I was like that. Now, how could you be wearing that and be hated?
Hold on now. Are you sure you got the right picture?
I'm thinking it is. Blue tights, blue knee pads, white shoes, white boots, I should say.
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, some of my OVW gear, stuff I had to wear in OVW. You know, it's really funny. They tried to make me be nice in OVW, but it didn't work out so well.
You just couldn't do it?
Yeah, just couldn't do it.
But you have such a nice smile.
Well, thank
you. But I'm assuming that just didn't. You just couldn't keep that going on too long.
No, it lasted about, I don't know, 3-4 months, and you know, they was like, I don't understand why the people are not like cheering for you. I was like, because I'm not nice. People don't like me. Give me a microphone and I will show you. 30 seconds with a microphone. And I came back and they were like, oh, okay, we were wrong. We apologize. Let's move on. So, yeah.
I see. Now, let's establish your tenure in OVW. How many times did you walk out with that championship?
6.
6 different times you were OVW Women's Champion. That is quite impressive.
Yeah. I think Jessie Bell has had the championship more than anyone in OVW. I think she's had it about 13 times. Some of my hard-fought battles for that belt were against Jessie Bell. the first time that I ever won the belt was against Jessie Bell. So, we've had hard-fought battles against each other. But yeah, I think it's an accomplishment to walk out of OVW 6-time women's champion.
I think so.
And I still do OVW. I still work at OVW, so,
Oh, okay.
Mickey Knuckles is the current champion, and I feel like that's something I should stick my nose in, because OVW has never seen a Maria James Mickey Knuckles match, and I think that's something that those people need to see.
Yeah, assuming that y'all can be held to some location away from the people so you don't hurt nobody else. 'Cause I don't think that Amazing Maria Mickey Knuckles match could possibly sit still inside of a ring.
No, and I don't think it has.
And certainly not a technical matchup. I'm expecting forearms and feet and fists and everything else to, kind of come down.
OVW has a stage, so, maybe I could shoot for that.
Well, if you do have that match, please forward me the link or something. I like to see it. Because I doubt that I'll be able to get up to Ohio Valley to be able to watch it live. So YouTube would be my next best bet or something like that. Booking, that's the fantasy booking. Sorry, we don't want to say just regular booking. Fantasy booking is an important part. I think every wrestler has a match or a person or somebody like that they're out there and willing and wanting to get in the ring with. Is there anybody that's on your dance card that you haven't had the opportunity to get in the ring with yet that you're going to put out to the universe to say, hey, when I get the chance, this is who I want?
Male or female? Because I have both.
Well, in this particular instance, we're going to say female, and then we'll address the male after that.
Absolutely. Jessica Havoc. I love her work. She's hard-hitting. She is powerful. And I feel like she and I could have a good time. I love watching her. I've watched her for many years, been on shows with her. Never had the opportunity to actually be in ring with her, and that is the one person that I want to be in the ring with.
Oh, okay. Well, let's put that out to the universe, then. Amazing Maria, Jessica Havoc, one-on-one, not no tag match, no three-way, and no multi-woman, just one-on-one.
Mano y mano, Maria and Havoc doing at it.
Okay, that's out in the universe now, so promoters jump on that. Now, the male portion of this. You said you had both. Who's the guy?
Aaron Williams.
Aaron Williams.
He is the baddest man alive. I mean, that's his moniker, and it is a true statement. I want to get in the ring with that man and throw down.
What is it about this that excites you? That the idea of getting in the ring with somebody that you are going to basically beat the crap out of and get the crap beaten out of you?
I like to punch people in the face.
You like to punch people in the face. Okay.
Yeah.
Do we like to take punches in the face as well?
I mean, it happens. So
you just accept that as when I punch people in the face, I'm gonna get it back.
Absolutely.
Have we ever thought about another sports outside of professional wrestling that you could work out your aggression in? Say like women's football, boxing, MMA. Has any of those things ever crossed your mind, or has it always been pro wrestling?
I've always been a pro wrestling fan. I wanted to do women's football. I absolutely love football. It's my favorite sport ever. I do fantasy every year. Like, I follow football. Like, it's my thing. So, to get in there and to actually be able to beat people up on a football field would be great. But the only kind of women's football you can get into is lingerie football. And I'm sorry, don't nobody want to see me naked. I don't want to see me naked or half naked. No one else wants to see that either. So let's just save the world, and I'll stick to the ring and let those ladies go out there and beat each other up that way.
Well, now apparently we just did your creeper story, so apparently there's at least one person out there that would disagree.
No. I don't think that's true. It's not about seeing me or the other women per se. It's about them feeling like they, ooh, I'm a big man and here's my penis.
Yeah. Well,
I honestly think those creeper situations are more about them than they are the girls. Like I don't know what goes through a creeper's mind that makes him think, oh, so-and-so would like to see my penis. I'm just going to send it to her. Here you go. No.
So look at it. Look at that. We got some psychology going on here. Yet an untapped talent from the amazing Maria. You have broken down another wall in the deciphering of the creeper.
Oh, yeah. It's not about the girl. It's not like they're in your inbox going, hey, can I see a picture of you naked? Hey, you're beautiful. Can I kiss your feet? Or da-da-da-da-da, here's my penis. What? No, it's about them trying to make themselves feel better. Poor guys.
All right, listen to that. We have learned something new tonight beyond the scope of just pro wrestling. How about that? And I'm sure somebody out there listening to this right now is going to completely disagree with everything that you just said and probably fight tooth and nail to tell you why you're wrong. But,
and that's okay. We can debate it.
I'll leave that to you in the comment section. I'm sure that you can send all complaints over to Amazing Maria because she will welcome you with open arms and maybe a fist or two if you get on her nerves. There is a section here because as we move along, I know time is ticking away. Called random questions. I like to toss some random stuff at people just because it makes my interviews fun for me. So, so Maria, are you ready?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
I want you to give me a non-wrestling event that you are looking forward to.
Football.
Okay.
Green Bay Packers, baby.
All right. When not in the ring, what's the most amazing thing that you do with your time?
Animal rescue.
Look at that. Now, you're gonna make people not hate you now. You can't hate people that save animals. You just can't do it.
Well, I mean, you can because I'm an asshole. But, animals don't talk back.
Well, that's true, but how can you be an asshole? You saving dogs, man. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I don't know. They like to fight, too, though. I got bit in the face by one about 4 weeks ago. Had to have surgery. Got really close to my eye. Now I have this nice big scar on the side of my face that makes me look that much meaner.
Yeah, you showed me the picture. Yeah. And I guess I should give backstory to that because, I didn't ask you how you got bit at the time. But for anybody that's listening, we were originally scheduled to do this interview, what was that, 2 weeks ago? 2 or 3 weeks back?
About 3 weeks ago, yeah.
Okay, so when we were getting the day of the interview at that time, when I normally go and I check and make sure that the subject, that being you, was available for the interview, and you told me that I can't do it because I got bit in the face by a dog. And of course, I'm sympathetic to it, but at the same time, I'm thinking, how did that happen? So now that makes sense.
Right. Well, it wasn't the dog. I mean, of course the dog bit me, but it was a pit bull, and he's a beautiful dog, and he'd been in the pound for a bit, and I hate animals being in the pound because, they get mistreated, and pit bulls get such a bad rap anyway. And he developed food aggression, I'm assuming, and I'd had him for 5 or 6 days, and he was just good as gold. He was such a great dog. And he was eating, and I just got too close to him while he was eating, and he just turned around and grabbed me and immediately let go. And everybody was like, he's a pit bull. He was trying to hurt you. I'm like, no, if he wanted to hurt me, he wouldn't have let go. He's a pit bull. When when they're fighting for real, they have lockjaw. They don't let go. They snap and they hold on, and then they shake and thrive and try to rip things apart. Well, he didn't do that. He grabbed me and immediately let me go, and he felt so bad, like you could see it in his eyes. And yeah, poor little thing. Like when I got back from the hospital, he was just laying like at the foot of the bed. And he looked at me all sad, like he didn't want to come near me because he was afraid, I was going to hurt him or something. So I just hugged him up and loved him up and let him sleep in the bed with me and went on about our day.
Well, there's a story that we weren't expecting tonight. So now all the dots are connected, and know how you got bit in the face by a dog. And I mean, you
I got a big scar on my face. Yeah.
Yeah, you showed me the picture. I mean, at the time you were really kind of swollen up. I mean, it was a gnarly scar. Let me say that right. So yeah.
Oh yeah, it still looks kind of gnarly. So it's not going away.
Well, be fortunate that you're in a profession that scars and things of that nature only add to your mystique.
Right, that's saying chicks big scars, glory lasts forever. Men big scars too, I guess.
Well, I'm sure they will now. When you step out to the ring, they're going to have to. Here's an easy one for you. Which U.S. city is known as the city of brotherly love?
Yeah, you know what? I honestly don't know.
Wow. I was expecting you to fly through that one. Okay, let's try this.
No, I'm not much of a brotherly love kind of girl, so loving that opinion and all that. I honestly don't know.
Let's rephrase the question. What's the home of ECW?
Did you say ECW?
Yes.
Up in Philly?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Also known as the city of brotherly love.
Ah, okay, got you.
There we
Yeah.
go. See how I tie that back in for you?
Put it to me in my turn. Yeah, put it to me in my turn.
I got you. I got you.
ECW, we could fight and tear some things down, or you could talk about some lovey-dovey stuff, and I'm lost.
well, it's just a tagline for the city. I'm sure that doesn't apply. I mean, they made ECW, for goodness sake. How loving can you be?
Fair enough.
Movie trivia. Which film did Roger Moore first play James Bond?
Oh, I
Yes,
don't know. I didn't
know.
watch James Bond.
Well, that's why these are random questions.
Yeah. Just a little tidbit. I never watched James Bond. I never watched Star Wars. People are like, what? You've never seen Star Wars? No. And I've never seen E.T. Sorry, people. Never watched it.
Now you know what's going to happen with that, don't you? People are going to volunteer to like, hey, you got to see this. Let me sing you this movie.
I'm like, nah. Never watched E.T. That's the one I get the most. Star Wars, people are like, what? And then when I say E.T., they're like, you're kidding. Never watched, like the reruns or whatever. Never watched Green Acres or any of that mess. Or what's the one with the captain and the dumb boy, the TV show Gilligan's Island. Never watched that.
Really? Wow. I am amazed.
Yeah.
I think I have a fantasy booking for you now just based off of that. I'll get to that in a second. The fact that you haven't seen any of these things, oh man, we got a storyline for you. So anyway, last one. The answer, by the way, Live and Let Die, 1973, Roger Moore, James Bond. First one. All right, there we go. Outside of the WWE, what would you consider a top-tier wrestling promotion?
I would say, New Japan on top.
Okay.
New Japan is amazing.
Yes.
But I was kind of thinking in the United States, I know TNA is dead and Global Force has taken over, and I feel like it's going to revive. I can't call it TNA, but Impact. Impact is going to revive and be a really great thing from this point on. I know there's a lot of great, guys going down, a lot of great independent guys that are being signed right now that are truly amazing, like the Chris brothers. They just got signed to Global Force. one of my homies and person I've traveled the roads with, person that I've wrestled with, managed with, Congo Kong is signed. And I think they're going to do big things down there. They're going to open up Impact and bring it back up to a higher level of professional wrestling. So.
Well, I will say this, as you mentioned that you are absolutely correct, because we have a recent signee just out of Atlanta, Georgia, not all that long ago. One of your colleagues, the girl on fire, Kiera Hogan. So shout out to
Kiera
her.
Hogan, yeah. Shout out to
recently
her.
signed.
She just got signed, what, last week?
Yeah. This is recent stuff. So
Yeah, I haven't seen her since she got signed, but I'm hoping to see her in a couple weeks actually. So yeah, big shout out to her.
So there we have it. So the last leg of this is the fantasy booking, which is a little bit different than me asking you who would you like to step in the ring with. Now this is the point where I'm like, hey, I'm sure that in the back of your mind you got an angle or a storyline, because I think every wrestler has an angle or a storyline that they could whip out at a moment's notice and say, you know what, if you gave me the book, this is what I would do, this is how I'll do it, and this is how we finish it up. So, Amazing Maria, give me your fantasy booking. Do you have one locked in that amazing brain of yours that you can pull out?
I mean, this may sound kind of weird, but
Weird is good.
all right, good, because this considers myself, of course. So I would absolutely love to do a storyline with, and they're both dead and gone, but they're my two favorite absolute people on this planet to watch technically, to watch charismatically. I would love to have been able to have a match, a series of matches, an entire storyline with Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero. For the simple reason that Chris Benoit is one of the most technical, amazing wrestlers I have ever seen. And Eddie Guerrero is so charismatic, and I mold myself after him. If you watch my matches, I have a lot of Eddie-esque things that I do. And everyone's like, you're a cheater and this, that. And I'm like, no, if you ain't cheating, you ain't winning, baby. Come on, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. That's the way I feel about it. But I would love to have a match to where it came down to, ultimately, Eddie and myself in the finals of the match, and we had the perfect referee and a perfect world that would always catch our antics.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie would throw me in the chair and get caught. I would throw him in the chair and get caught. And then it all boils down to, who could finally be the smartest, outsmart the referee, and win the match without actually winning the match. Maybe strange, but
Not like I said, strange and weird is good. Got to break those out every once in a while. Now I'm going to ask for one amendment to your fantasy booking. If there's any talent, female, current today that you would slot as a substitute for a Guerrero or a Benoit in this case, is there anybody that you can think of off the top of your head that you would apply that story to?
I would honestly, just because, like I said earlier, I would love to be in the ring with her. I would put Hogan in there, just because it would be amazing for me to outsmart her and be able to get a win on her without actually beating her.
Okay. Now that would be interesting.
So basically, outsmart the ref, and then I know I'd have to get the hell out of the ring and hightail it really quick, because if I was to ever win a match against Havoc and she didn't, she wasn't knocked out or down, if I just stole it from her, she's gonna kill me.
I thought you invited that. You invite the aggression.
Oh, absolutely.
But
You
still got
and,
enough respect to get out of it.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Now, I will say that unfortunately, my fantasy booking probably wouldn't apply to it. Jessica Havok, she may be a little bit too serious for it. Although she's lightened up over the years, so maybe maybe she could do it. And in your case, it probably just had to be a regular stipulation match. However, if you lose, you're gonna have to be forced to sit down and watch one of these things that you have somehow managed to skip over for the last decade or two.
Oh Lord, I got to win these matches.
That being E.T. or Star Wars, or I think to make it really work, it has to be something that you like. I got no interest in watching this whatsoever, like Gilligan's Island.
Absolutely.
And the minute that you lose, that can't happen in the ring. This has got to be another vignette. You and the person that you just lost to got to sit down and watch that show, and you can't be leaving. You can try.
Oh, why you got to punish both of us? Like,
They may want to watch it.
fair enough.
Okay, well, we'll take that person out of the ring. If Jessica Havok was responsible for making you sit down and watch it, we'll just sit you at a chair, handcuff you to the thing so you can't leave, turn the TV on, and all right, here you go. Binge watch Gilligan's Island.
Oh Lord, I want to throw up.
Season 1. Just look at it. By the time you're done, you'll be singing a song back and forth.
Oh, I'd probably want to stab my eyes with pencil.
Well, that's why I have to leave you handcuffed to the chair so you don't do anything that drastic. We don't want you to blind yourself because of a sitcom. So there we have it. That's probably the most simple fantasy booking I've ever produced. But I think in your case, just because of the stipulation of what you must do if you lose, it makes it work.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna put that suggestion out there so somebody can actually try that. Maybe Green
Oh no,
Acres.
see, if that's the case, I'm doing everything I can to win.
Well, that's the point. The people have to know that you hate it. They got to know that you hate Gilligan's Island or Green Acres or E.T. or whatever the heck you were saying that you didn't look at, Star Trek, and all of that stuff.
I don't think it was E.T. so much that I hated. It's just I just never took had the interest to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But like the Gilligan's Island, Green Acres, man, that was so annoying. I would hear my turn it on, and I'm like, oh, I got to go.
Okay, well, we can't do because if you look at ET of course during this the camera has to be on you, so you might actually have a tear come down your eye, when ET that'll ruin it for you.
No,
So
that's not gonna.
we can't have you ruining the effect of who Amazing Maria is. So we'll leave the sentimental stuff to the side, and we'll just go with the silly sitcoms that you've been trying to avoid. Green Acres it is, or Gilligan's Island, or whatever. All right, so you have powered through this interview. Applause are necessary. So I appreciate the time and the effort that you have taken to do this while you've been driving too. So you're a woman who's of multiple talents, so you can walk and chew gum. That's always good. And we want to put back out your contacting social media for any fans / promoters that are looking to get you. And as you said, I will reiterate that you usually book yourself out 2 months in advance. So that anybody that is looking to acquire Maria's services, you need to be aware of that, the time frames that she is operating under. You can catch her at Amazing Maria, Amazing_Maria on Twitter. Maria James Photos at yahoo.com if you're looking to book, and Facebook Amazing Maria. So I think that covers everything. Is that am I giving the right stuff out?
Also, I do have a Snapchat. I put, I'm dumb. I put the dumbest stuff on Snapchat, but it's also Amazing_Maria. So yeah, everything basically, hit the amazing, hit the underscore, hit the Maria, and stuff tends to pop up.
That sounds good. So now you guys know where to catch her. It is all good. You can find her. Remember, 2 months in advance. Don't be trying to get her tomorrow. It's not going to work. All right. So there we have it.
I do have one thing to say.
What's that?
Like, if anybody, tries to get on my Facebook and stuff, I try to keep my Facebook for promoters, talent, bookings and such purposes. I do have a fan page. Please, please, please go to the Amazing Maria fan page and like that. Much better than trying to get me to accept a friend request on Facebook, because it's not happening. I still answer my messages on my fan page, and I still, I post everything all day long on my fan page. I just prefer to keep my Facebook open for, business.
Fair enough, which is how I was able to get you here, through the business channel of your Facebook. So she is true to form, very professional, and treated me well through all of our communication. So hats off to you.
Thank you very much.
So with that, it sounds like you've reached your destination, and I think we've made it to the end of this interview. Any final words before you step out?
No, just let everybody know that, I wrestle all over the States. Come out and see me. Check me out on the High Spot, Smart Mark, all that good stuff. It's my favorite thing in the world to do. Anybody that has a dream, just go out and do it.
And that sounds good. And I will leave you with this. Get back down to Georgia so I can see you wrestle live.
I'll be back to Georgia soon.
Okay, I'm be waiting for you. I need to know. All I need to know is where it's at, and I'm showing up.
I will let you know.
The Women's Pro Wrestling Network will be able to be there and comment on the match at hand. So with that, thank you for your time and your interview. For your people that's out there listening, thank you for following the Women's Pro Wrestling Network, and we will catch you on the next podcast.
Thanks, guys.
That was the amazing Maria James, who joined me on the podcast right there, and I hope that you enjoyed every bit of that. Like I said, she was incredibly sweet. I know this probably goes against everything that she would like me to say, but she was very nice and certainly as professional as she could possibly be. I would definitely be trying to get her down into the Georgia wrestling scene sometime soon, and certainly the door is open for her to come back and join me on the podcast or some other form of interview. It's always good to have some people who can talk it up, and she definitely can do that. Even if it's making some of you people out there hate her, she knows how to do it. And if you listen there, we came up with a ridiculous stipulation match for her, all based around the fact that she doesn't like certain TV shows and movies, which is absurd, but I think it'd just be funny for her. She probably doesn't get the chance to do a lot of light work in terms of her wrestling, but just to have something that ridiculous, depending on where it was, that might be relatively entertaining. But anyway, let's not go off of that, because I could be booking her into a hole. That might be terrible. It might just sound good in my mind. So we'll worry about that later. When I get the book and I get her down in my area, I'll give that a try. I'm going to reiterate, if you haven't followed her, you need to go to her Facebook fan page, not her personal page, but go and search out Amazing Maria. Twitter, Amazing_Maria. And if you are a promoter, she is looking to accept your bookings, but you need to contact her 2 months out at least preceding your event. So there you go, Marie James Photos at yahoo.com. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Again, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to whatever venue you are listening to this on. I would suggest Podbean.com. I like listening to my podcast through Podbean. It's a great venue. I get the notifications. It sticks right up there on my phone. We got the graphic that pops up there, so because I'm just a stickler for stuff like that. I like seeing the little graphic of who it is and what it is I'm listening to. So that you'll get that notification there. But if Podbean is not your choice, you can also go to iTunes. You can also go to TuneIn Radio. You can also go to Google Play. In fact, you can listen to me right here. Well, I'm not going to say right here because I don't know where you're listening. But you can also listen on YouTube. You can also go on there and check that out. And if you're not interested in those necessarily, we got the docu-series introducing. We got the bonus round content. And, of course, we've got matches. We got big matches. We got matches up and down the line. In fact, we got years' worth of matches going to our archives. And you can check out that. You can find talents in there from Rock and Roll Roxy to Crystal Fire to the Girl on Fire, Kara Hogan, who just got signed. We was talking about her a little bit early on. To Pandora, to America Strong, Tiffany Rocks, the Gypsy Princess, the Priscilla Kessler. Let me try that again. The Priscilla Kelly. You got a bunch of people that you can go, even the Great Cheyenne from a couple of years back. So you got a wide range of faces, names, and talents that you can pick from right here on the Women's Pro Wrestling Network. Thank you for your support, and please do continue to support. If you're not giving monetarily, then the like, subscribe, and share is good enough for me. It does make a difference. So until the next show, so long, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the WPN's Rights and Wrongs of Pro Wrestling. If you have questions or comments, please contact us via our Facebook or our YouTube channel at the Women's Pro Wrestling Network. If you're new to the WPN, feel free to subscribe to our channel and like our page. We appreciate your support.